Today I'm revealing the strategy that had made me and my team hundreds of divines. Hey, I'm Cyclon and today I want to talk about scarab farming. A very hard but very profitable strategy and easily be adjustable to 8 mod corrupted map farming with just swapping out a few idols and a new scarab setup. Now I can't stress enough that this strategy is incredibly hard. You need a very powerful build because these maps are more crazy than 8 mod maps. I think it was 1 or 2 leagues ago. Those maps were beyond crazy, and this is even more crazy than those basic maps or those meat sack stacking maps, because we are doubling, more than doubling, the effectiveness of the modifiers, meaning something like reduced aura effect just completely nukes your auras, or something like minus max rest just sets you to half resistances. It is incredibly crazy what these modifiers do. So if you need a build that is strong enough to farm this, I can recommend any of the 8 strategies on my spreadsheet. Of course, there will be a link to that in the description. To farm up the currency for a build for this farming strategy, and then enough currency to set up your idol, your scarabs, and buy some maps as well. Now, let's take a look at the strategy. The first thing we need is a Conquer idol with scarabs found in your maps are more likely to be less common varieties. We are scarab farm, so this mod is essential for this. Now we want to combine this with either increased effect of explicit modifiers in the maps per 5% quality, or increased effect of explicit modifiers in the maps per explicit modifier. If you go for max roll, per 5% quality is slightly better than per explicit modifiers, because we're not crazy enough to run these T17s as 8 mod cropped maps. We're only running them as 6 mods. So with max rolls, 5% quality would be 20% effect, and explicit modifier would be 18% effectiveness per idol or per mod on your idols. So we want either of those with the less common variety scarabs, and then our other 3 Conquer idols should all have both of them. Then we want 3 totemic or burial idols, preferably 1 totemic, 1 burial, and 1 flexible, just for the layout, or 3 totemics, but by mixing them up it's usually a little bit cheaper. So we want those idols with increased effect of explicit modifiers in the maps, and rare monsters in map have increased chance drop scarabs per monster modifier affecting them. Now, this is basically the bread and butter mod of the strategy. We want to have as much map modifier effect, because that scales the more scarabs, but this gives an incredibly amount of increased scarabs found. So with this, we just gain incredibly big scarab explosions whenever we kill a rare. How we scale those rares we get to in a moment. But this mod on those 3 idols is really powerful, and we want it as high roll as possible. Now with all this map modder effect, we are looking at about 227 based on my rolls, up to I think 240 map effect total. It can get really crazy with these map effectiveness. Now we're gonna supplement all these map effect and the chance for scarab found with an 1x2 idol or 2x1 idol, with scarab drops in the maps are more likely to be ambush scarabs, and then we can either get it with cartography scarabs, ultimatum scarabs, or divination scarabs, whatever scarab you fancy. For me, cartography, or for our team back when we made the idol setup, cartography scarab felt the best, so we sticked with that till now. And then we want 5 minor idols, which have increased scarabs found in your maps, and your maps contain more monster packs consisting of difficult and rewarding monsters. Those monsters can also be rare, so we just gain more chances for rare monsters on already a big map. So by having our base monster pack size, a good base amount of monster packs, this more monster packs is just going to be more efficient. That's a really good mod. Then we gotta be having a T17 map, which we roll for more scarabs. As much more scarabs as we can get. So because this map, for example, has 178, if we take this 178 and we duplicate it by our map effect, which is 227%, we gain 404% more scarabs found once I open it. That's just how crazy this is gonna be. We get a crazy amount of more scarabs, but of course, also each monster's gonna have a 100% chance to block attacks, which is kept at 75, but this means 70 guaranteed or almost guaranteed block, reoccurs with vulnerability, temporal chains, elemental weakness, we're gonna impale, we're gonna have less than half AoE, and the buffs on us expire 200% faster, so we can't keep any proper buffs up. These maps are incredibly hard, I will show it in a moment, but first let's take a look at everything else for this, as well as the alternative strategy. We're going to be using beyond our map device, we're going to be using Ether altars. We have the chance for like a divine altar, but more interestingly, we have simpler downsides because we are elemental almonds immune, and we don't care about random projectiles, and we don't care too much of minus rest because we are actually quite overcapped on our fire rest. So most modifiers on those altars we can negate. So if we get like scarab dupe or currency dupe, those are really neat pickups. We're gonna see a decent amount of currency, but we're gonna see a lot of scarabs. So finding scarab dupe is just massive for us. And then we're using Scarab of Divinity times 2. Scarab of Adversaries times 2, and 1 Horn Scarab of Nemesis, so that we have more modifiers on the monsters, which means more Scarabs. Now, get to our alternative strategy real quick. We are gonna be replacing our Noble or Amazon idol and all our minor idols with the Calligraphy minor idol. So this means that tier 1 to 50 maps have a chance to become a tier higher. We can fit up to 7 of these in instead of the other idols. Now we're still going to be utilizing our explicit effect, and we're going to be utilizing the other explicit effect on Totemake idols to get as much effect as we can. And instead of rolling our maps for scarabs, we will then roll our map for more maps found. So then we have the increased maps found from the implicit of the idols, and we have the tier higher, combining this with more maps found. And then with 2 Scarabs of the Multitudes, 1 Scarab of Escalation, 1 Scarab of Corruption, and 1 Horn Scarab of Bloodlines. Now, T17s already have a good amount of monster packs, and the Category Scarab of Multitudes adds magic packs. Because of the good amount of packs as we have on the map, combined with the Multitudes, combined with Horn Scarab of Bloodlines, will net us at least half an inventory of 8 mod maps every time we're gonna be reusing this setup. This is incredibly good to self-sustain any 8 mod map for any other strategy, or even if you want to farm and sell 8 mod maps. Now I'm gonna be hopping in one of these crazy maps, and I'm just gonna showcase you how good it is. We're gonna be going in, and it was 178, and now once we're inside, let's see if I done my calculation correct. I underestimated calculation, it's 448. So the percentage that we have is even higher than I actually calculated. And we're looking at 96 pack size from this 48 or what it was. We have massive amount of currency scarabs found, but also, as you can see here, 126 chance to block, 252% faster, 63 less AoE. These maps are incredibly hard, but that's what I wanted to show. Because I just don't want to get anybody going into the strategy without actually realizing how hard it is. And that you just set it up, invest all their currency into it, and then they can't run it. That would really be just sad that if I bait anybody into that. So here we just see those monsters incredibly tanky me with a build that is, I would say at this point, multi-mirror. Just sloughing through this incredibly slow. Just showcase how ridiculous this is. In a previous attempt of recording these, I actually had a map that I bricked because it rolled with minus max rest, which just absolutely nuked my resistances. Ah, don't do that, that's unhealthy for me. So this just shows how incredibly hard these maps are, but also how incredibly lucrative these are. These big scarab explosions are just really, yeah, well, profit. To give a number on this, on the last 20 map test run we did, we made about 95 divines profit in Scarabs alone, flipping them. Meaning that in 20 maps, 95 divines profit, this is roughly taking between 7 and 8 minutes. This is something about 25 to 27 divines an hour strategy. So this is not competing with exiles per se, but it is getting very close to it, considering how much harder exiles is than anything else and how much more expensive it is to set up. I think setting this up compared to setting exiles up, this will look cheap. But yeah, hopefully this strategy with information from this video will be able to be set up by people watching this and will be fun and profitable for everybody that goes attempted. But again, can't stress this enough, only go for this once you're sure you can run it, or at least once you are fairly sure you can run it, and don't overinvest into it. First, save up a good amount of currency with any of the 8-tier strategy on the spreadsheet, and then enjoy the strategy. All this being said, I will struggle to finish this map, and you will be on your way. Have a wonderful day. If anything was unclear, if you have any questions left, feel free to ask in the comment section, or on Discord in the designated channel, or via DMs, or when I'm back to live streaming on Twitch, you can also ask questions live there. I'm trying my best. Once I have like 3 hours that I can stream in one go, I will be back to streaming, I promise. Being said, hopefully I'm not the boss in a moment, and you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.